Hello, and welcome to Electro Nerds Academy. In this video, we'll be interfacing a rotary encoder with an Arduino. Here's a look at the encoder we'll be using. A rotary encoder is an electromechanical device that converts the rotational movement of a shaft into electrical signals. These devices are incredibly versatile and find use in controlling servos and stepper motors, navigating menus on LCD displays, and even as speedometers to measure the rotational speed of a wheel. While rotary encoders may look similar to potentiometers, they operate quite differently. Unlike potentiometers, which can only rotate within a limited range, rotary encoders can rotate continuously around their axis without stopping. Additionally, potentiometers output an analog resistance value based on the position of the wiper on the resistive track. In contrast, rotary encoders output digital signals that can be used to determine changes in the position of the knob. Rotary encoders come in various types, but they are mainly categorized into two groups: incremental and absolute. An incremental encoder typically maintains a high signal, transitioning to low only at specific positions during rotation, generating a pulsed output. However, if you look at this output, there is no way that we can determine the exact angular position of the encoder's shaft in degrees. We can only determine whether the shaft's position has changed or not. And this change occurs whenever the signal transitions from high to low. But how do we determine the direction in which the shaft has moved? For this, most incremental encoders produce a second signal that is 90 degrees out of phase with the first. If the second signal lags behind the first by 90 degrees, the shaft is moving clockwise. If the second signal leads the first by 90 degrees, the shaft is moving counterclockwise. Absolute encoders, on the other hand, provide a unique position value for each shaft position. For example, here we have a 4-bit absolute encoder that can output unique values for up to 16 distinct positions throughout one complete revolution of the shaft. As the shaft rotates, the encoder outputs 4 digital signals as it is a 4-bit encoder. These 4 signals combine to form a binary code that uniquely identifies the current position of the encoder. We will cover absolute encoders in more detail in a future video. The rotary encoder we are using in this video is an incremental encoder. The rotary encoder module has 5 pins. The VCC and GND pins are connected to a 5 volts power source and ground, respectively. The SW pin is linked to the built-in button, and it is pulled high by a 10 kilo ohms resistor on the back of the module. When the button is pressed, this pin is connected to GND. The DT and CLK clock pins are also pulled high through 10 kilo ohms resistors on the module. Inside the encoder, there is a slotted disc connected to a common ground terminal. 2 contacts, labeled A and B, are connected to the clock and DT pins. Initially, both contacts are disconnected from the conductive disc, so they are pulled high through the resistors. When the knob is turned clockwise, contact A connects with the grounded disc before contact B, causing the signal on the DT pin to lag behind the clock pin by 90 degrees or a quarter cycle. Conversely, when the knob is turned counterclockwise, contact B connects with the grounded disc before contact A, causing the signal on the clock pin to lag behind the DT pin by the same phase difference. Another method of determining the direction of rotation of the encoder is by observing the state of the DT pin whenever the clock pin changes state. If the voltage levels of the DT and clock pins are equal when the clock pin changes state, the knob is being turned counterclockwise. If the voltage level of the DT pin is not equal to the clock pin when the state changes, the knob is being turned clockwise. Remember this logic as we will implement this same logic in the code. Let's now connect the rotary encoder to the Arduino. We start by wiring the module's VCC pin to the Arduino's 5 volts output and the GND pin to Arduino's ground pin. Connect the CLK clock pin to digital pin 2 and the DT pin to digital pin 3 on the Arduino. Next, we'll program the Arduino to detect the rotation of the knob, incrementing a counter variable for clockwise rotation and decrementing it for counterclockwise rotation. The counter values will be displayed on the serial monitor. To begin, we'll use 2 define statements to specify the pin numbers for the clock and DT pins, which are connected to pins 2 and 3 on the Arduino, respectively. Then, we'll declare an integer variable named counter to track the knob's position, as well as 2 additional integer variables, clock state and last clock state to store the state of the clock pin at different times. In the setup function, we'll configure the clock and DT pins as inputs using pin mode statements and initialize serial communication at 9600 baud rate using the serial.begin function. We'll also use the digital read function to capture the initial state of the clock pin and store it in the last clock state variable. In the loop function, we'll use the digital read function to capture the current state of the clock pin in the clock state variable. Then we'll check if the value of the last clock state variable differs from the current clock state, indicating that the knob is being rotated. To determine the direction of rotation, we'll implement the same logic we discussed earlier using an if-else statement. If the state of the DT pin differs from the state of the CLK pin, the knob is being turned clockwise, so we increment the counter variable. Otherwise, the knob is being turned counterclockwise, so we decrement the counter variable. The updated value of the counter variable will then be printed to the serial monitor. Finally, at the end of the main if statement, we'll update last clock state to match the current clock state, allowing the cycle to repeat continuously. Upload the code to your Arduino, and after a successful upload, open the serial monitor. As you rotate the knob clockwise, the counter value will increase with each detent or click. When you rotate the knob counterclockwise, the counter value will decrease accordingly. Now let's control a servo motor using the rotary encoder. To begin, connect the positive wire of the servo motor to the 5-volt pin on the Arduino and the GND wire to the Arduino's GND pin. Connect the signal wire of the servo motor to pin 9 on the Arduino. In the code, we first include the servo library using the include statement and create an instance or object of the servo class, naming it myServo. In the setup function, we use the attach method to specify the Arduino pin number to which the control pin of the servo is connected to, which in our case is pin 9. In the loop function, the core logic remains the same, but we add a condition to ensure the counter variable stays within the servo's valid range of 0 to 180 degrees. To achieve this, we place the increment operation inside an if statement that only executes if the counter variable is less than 180. Similarly, the decrement operation is placed inside another if statement that only executes if the counter variable is greater than 0. At the end of the main if block, we pass the counter value to the servo's right function, which moves the servo to the corresponding angular position. After uploading the code to your Arduino, you'll notice that as you rotate the encoder knob clockwise, the servo motor's angle increases, causing it to move in the clockwise direction. Rotating the encoder counterclockwise decreases the servo's angle, moving it in the opposite direction. That's all for this tutorial. Stay tuned for more projects, and we'll see you in the next one.